Wake up with the news and information you can trust. Starting your day the right way with the Andy Griffin Show. This is News Radio 890, 92.5 KDXU.
Hey, good morning to you. It's 8 minutes after 9 o'clock on this rainy. Okay, you know what? My app says it's raining. I can see rain across the valley, but I'm on North Bluff Street and there is no rain. I'm just saying. Welcome to the Andy Griffin Show. Marianne Hamilton is with me today, and folks, you should see Marianne. We are not online streaming right now, so you can't see her. But Marianne has this beautiful. Is that scarlet? What color are we calling that, Marianne?
Probably scarlet, crimson. I don't know.
Yeah, crimson or scarlet gown on that is full of sequins, and then she's got the kind of ruby necklace and matching earrings. She has her crown, although she can't wear it with her headphones on.
Nope, doesn't quite fit. But, you know, it's a dreary day, so I thought I'd bling up the studio a little bit.
You have brightened things up, absolutely. And Janene is going to join us in a little while, too. And
yes, my sister queen.
She's all blinged up, too, yeah. You guys, you both look fantastic.
It's just for you guys.
So, and here I am in jeans and a T-shirt.
You didn't get the memo, sorry.
I actually had a jacket, and then I took it off, and now I don't know where it is. My jacket is here somewhere in this building. You
can borrow mine, but I'm not real sure if that would be the right size.
Probably not. Okay. No, I could put it on one arm.
Maybe. Okay.
Hey, thanks for tuning in, folks. Marianne is our senior fitness guru, I like to call her. She's also former Miss Senior Universe, although not currently, right? You're
not currently,
retired, or what do you call it? Emeritus? Former? I don't know what we call it, Marianne.
Well, actually, in our pageant system, we are all lifetime forever queens.
Okay.
Yeah, so I have the title forever. And, for example, our founding queen was crowned Miss Senior Universe in 2016, but she still has the title founding queen, and she comes to all our events, and in fact, she'll be here today for Janene's crowning.
Is she going to be blingy like you guys?
Yeah. We're always blingy, always, you know. Got to bring the bling.
Bring the bling. I love it.
Yeah.
I saw, Marianne, a post by you on Facebook, 10 years since you moved to St. George.
10 years ago on Sunday, yeah. It's just, I cannot believe how quickly it's gone. Time just flies when you're having a blast.
You were telling me some interesting things. First of all, on the post you mentioned you were really sick, so your husband came out ahead of you.
Yes.
And you, when you came here, moved into a house that you had never actually set foot in.
Exactly.
Was that scary?
It was. There was a lot of trepidation because Doug came and picked me up at the shuttle. I took the plane from San Jose to Vegas, then took the shuttle into St. George. Doug picked me up, and I was holding my breath thinking, oh, my God, I hope it's not,
Hope it's not ugly.
I hope the pictures weren't deceptive. And when we got up to the top of the hill and I walked in, I thought, it needed a lot of work. It was...
It wasn't perfect.
Trust me. This house had been in foreclosure and had been empty for almost 3 years because, for whatever reason, every wall inside was purple.
Wait, what?
Purple. The woman who owned it.
Did Donny Osmond live there?
Or Prince, I'm not quite sure.
Prince, yeah.
This woman, so it was a long story, but this couple had gone through a very vitriolic divorce, and he was a divorce attorney, and so he was pretty upset that she got the house. She got the house, then she let it go into foreclosure, but before... at some point she painted every wall purple because she loved purple.
Oh, I thought maybe he did it in spite.
Oh, no.
You get the house, here you go, purple.
But then before the house went to the bank, he came in and he stole everything. I mean, he stole the island out of the kitchen.
Oh,
he stole all the cabinets.
Wait, what?
How do you steal an island?
How do you do that?
Exactly. He stole the hot tub. He stole every lighting fixture, every switch plate, everything. So when we came to see it, or when Doug had seen it, there were just these sort of staged things with plywood, for an island and stuff.
Not real.
But we could tell the house had really good bones. It was on top of a hill with beautiful views and a pool and all that stuff. So it had all the things that we really wanted when we were going to move to St. George from California.
And it helped you get a good deal because it had problems.
Absolutely.
So.
Oh my gosh, and it's almost quadrupled in value since then. So that's pretty amazing.
If you bought it 10 years ago,
Yeah.
We bought our current home 5 years ago, right before things went nuts. And, it's about double in value now from what it was.
It's pretty amazing. So, there was quite a bit of work to be done. And we spent the first 5 months just making the Home Depot Lowe's run every day and doing all of that.
So you did a lot of the work yourself?
Yeah.
Okay.
Doug actually did. And he and his brothers came up from San Diego and did the island for him. And they hung the cabinets and all that kind of stuff. And
wow.
So we did have a handyman locally who did electrical work and that kind of thing. But it was pretty much home done. And 5 months later, we were done and said, okay, we're ready to start a life in St. George.
It's real now.
Yeah. And
cool.
it's been just fantastic ever since.
I don't know if you saw this on our website, 890kdxu.com. I wrote a story about a house that was built in 1998. Okay, that's not uncommon at all. A lot of houses were built in 1998. No one ever lived in it, ever.
Oh, wow.
And almost 26 years later, it's now gone to the guy died, and it's gone. Anyway, they're selling it as a 1998 never lived in home. He did a virtual walkthrough. He showed, and it was.
Was it still in good shape?
It was almost perfect.
Wow.
It's just everything was kind of old fashioned a little bit.
Yeah.
You know, the microwave still had the instruction booklet in it. It had never been turned on. The oven still had, the dishwasher still had those those little sample packets of Cascade or whatever. Still had those in it. It had never actually run. The oven had never been turned on.
So unhoused people hadn't found it and camped out there or anything? I mean,
you would think. And there were 27,000 comments on this guy's video, and it had been viewed more than 1 million times.
Wow.
And most of the comments were, there were two types of comments. One was people in disbelief and saying things like, well, did someone squat in it? Why did,
Right.
And the other there were a lot of comments, like thousands of them, of people, I'm sad for this home because the destiny of a home is to be lived in, right? And make memories, and that home never was.
Oh.
So interesting deal. The home has been sold, by the way.
Okay.
If he had sold it the guy that bought it in 1980 or 98 bought it for $85,000. Oh. They sold it for about $400,000.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. And the story, I get this all the time. People, well, what happened? The story is the guy bought the house as a second home. He traveled for his job. I think he was a traveling salesman, and they never put any furnishings in it. And so when he would come to St. George and stay here, he thought, okay, I can stay in an unfurnished home, or I can just pay a couple $100, stay in a hotel for a couple of nights, and have them take care of me. And so he would just pay for a hotel instead of staying in his own home.
Did he have too much money to spend, perhaps?
It sounds like it, yeah. It sounds like there was maybe an excess of funds there.
Wow.
So, but never been lived in. You can, if you want to go look at the virtual walkthrough, folks, just go to 890kdxu.com or go to download our absolutely free app. And you can click on it, and the video's right there. You can walk right through it.
I hope there's a happy family in there now, making it, be a cozy, wonderful place.
We'll need a follow-up story in a few weeks.
Yes, absolutely.
Would you, Marianne, if you bought a house that was new but old like that, would you remodel? Would you change some stuff? Because it was kind of old-fashioned, and yet it was new. You know what I mean? And the styles haven't changed that much in 25 years.
Certainly, there are things that you always want to upgrade. I mean, when we moved into this place, because every wall was purple, there was we did want to change that.
Did you paint over the purple?
We did paint. Yeah, we took a couple of coats, but it was done. And then, but amazingly enough, all the floors were either or are still black granite or this beautiful, and it sounds really, really disgusting, but trust me, it's gorgeous. It's a lavender carpet. It's industrial grade, like from a casino in Vegas. It's this really, really, really sturdy stuff. You can pour, a bottle of Tabasco sauce on it. It'll just bead right up, and and you can wipe it off. So we've kept that because it's really, really beautiful and unusual. And we sort of figured out a color palette to work around that for our furniture. But everything else we definitely, changed because there were some decoration choices that weren't quite to our taste.
Upgraded a little bit.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
It was in that house, by the way, I was talking about was in Emerald Springs, which I'm not real familiar with. It's off of Dixie Drive is all I know.
Oh, okay.
So not too far from right where we sit right now here on North Bluff Street. But we've got Marianne Hamilton, Miss Senior Universe, always a queen, right? And,
in my mind.
She's wearing her sash.
Yes.
Yeah. And a beautiful scarlet or crimson blingy dress. And Marianne, thanks for coming in. Now, you have something coming up.
Yeah.
And when you first texted it to me, I'm like, no, wait, what is that? And I've heard that name before, but maybe you can explain what's coming up for you and kind of what's on your mind.
Yeah, sure. So on Thursday, I'm having my, biannual, every 2 years, biannual, right? DEXA scan.
DEXA scan.
DEXA scan.
Okay.
And that is a very non-invasive, painless, basically an X-ray of your bones.
So do you get in like the CAT scan thing with a tunnel, or do?
No, you're just basically lying on a table, like an X-ray machine. Okay. Yeah. Put a gown on. I'm not even sure if you have to change your clothes. I think you can't have any metal.
Right.
Right.
You have to put that necklace away.
Yeah, the big necklace and earrings. And it's very, very painless. Like I said, it takes maybe 20 minutes or so, and they are assessing how much bone loss you have over time.
Okay.
Very, very important for anybody over 50. Certainly very important for, as my doctor told me in California, you're a scrawny white woman, so you're going to have bone loss.
Scrawny white woman.
Yes,
okay,
yes.
got it.
Thank you. Actually, Caucasian and Asian women have the most
Really?
predisposition for osteoporosis.
Right.
And and African American women, Pacific Islanders who have maybe sturdier frames have more bone mass, so they're less susceptible to that. Those of us who are a smaller frame, and women in general, have more preponderance of having osteoporosis or osteopenia, which is sort of the precursor to osteoporosis. And anyway, so I go every 2 years, and one of the things that puts me at high risk, in addition to being a small-framed woman, is that I take what's called aromatase inhibitors, which are also called estrogen blockers,
Right.
which I have to take. I've been on now for 3.5 years following my cancer diagnosis, because the kind of breast cancer that I had is estrogen positive. It loves to eat up estrogen, so they want to remove the estrogen from my body.
Don't give anything to eat.
No.
Got
And
it.
so more wrinkles, but, maybe a less chance of cancer, which I can deal with. That's okay.
Yeah, for sure.
So anyway, I have this coming up on Thursday morning, and the last one I had actually 2 years ago did show some bone loss in my right hip. And so,
Really?
yes, and so my doctor put me on a really strong, well, not a strong, but a regimen of calcium, which is one of the most important things you need to have, calcium and vitamin D. You need the vitamin D so you can absorb the calcium. And so I take calcium supplements every morning, which, by the way, you cannot have the morning of your DEXA scan because it has an impact on...
Messes it up.
Yes.
Okay.
In fact, I went last week. I went for my mammogram, and I was supposed to have DEXA scan. Had totally forgotten about the calcium supplements. I said, sorry, come back, reschedule. So I go in this Thursday.
Okay. Well, very cool. Now this DEXA scan, you're at risk, so they
Yes.
recommend it maybe more often than a regular woman would. Just your average woman, retired, say 65-year-old female, what should be the regularity? Should you have it once or once every 10 years, or do you know?
It kind of depends on what your doctor says. I mean, basically, we're all at risk. Believe it or not, your bones are always changing. They're doing what the medical term is remodeling. They're changing around. You think that you have the bones that you're born with, but no, your body's actually reconstructing, remodeling bones throughout your life. You reach your peak bone mass when you're 30.
Really?
Yeah. And if you have a lot of bone mass going into your 30s, then you've banked a lot of good bone mass.
Yeah.
But if you're kind of slight to begin with, or you have a lot of conditions, or you're taking medications or whatever, that can start degrading over time, and certainly that accelerates after the age of 50. And in my case, with the medications and my frame, they're very, very careful to watch me, as probably more frequently than other people.
And this is way, way more common for females than males.
Yes.
So men probably don't need a DEXA scan unless recommended by a doctor.
There actually studies show that a drop in testosterone levels will also cause osteoporosis. Yeah, so men need to have it. It's one of those things to talk to your doctor about. I mean, I can't imagine, because you're a big guy and you're strong and sturdy.
I have very thick bones.
You have very thick bones, yeah. So you're probably less at risk, but you don't know. I mean, sometimes there are lifestyle things that can cause a loss of bone mass as well. Age, race, family history, hormone levels, eating disorders, medications, size, physical activity. If you're, sort of a lethargic person, you don't get much exercise, you don't do that weight-bearing exercise, that can have a direct impact on your ability to remodel your bones over time.
All right. So there was a story today in the news about how Mom was right. Basically, Mom told us to eat right and try to get off the couch and
drink
do
your milk.
stuff and drink your milk and your water. And Mom was right all along. We knew that.
Well, those wives' tales come up for a reason. They're passed on from generation to generation because they make sense.
Very true.
Some doctor at some point said, hey, this would be a really good idea if you got a lot of calcium in your diet, or you did a lot of physical activity in your daily routine. The weight-bearing exercise is super important.
So do you think most doctors would recommend women that are close to retirement age take calcium on a regular basis as part of their maybe multivitamin regimen?
It might not be a bad idea. It's multivitamins. In my particular case, they did the diagnostic test and the blood test and found, okay, you're lacking calcium. You have a loss of bone mass, so you definitely need to do this. If you drink milk, if you have foods in your diet that are rich in those kinds of proteins and calcium and vitamin D, you may not be needing it, but I think it's one of those things like chicken soup. It can't hurt, you know.
Yeah,
can't hurt to have
for
it.
sure.
Yeah.
I have a story about milk drinking, by the way. So,
Okay.
A few years ago, when COVID was very common, my wife and I both got COVID, and her sense of smell and taste
Gone.
pretty much disappeared. It was gone. Mine were altered, but I never lost mine completely. I was one of those that had that kind of metallic taste all the time and stuff, but eventually it all came back. Well, so maybe a month or two after we'd had COVID, my wife, it was a Saturday morning, she got up and had a glass of milk and stuff, and as she's drinking her milk, this is gross, it comes across a chunk or two in the milk.
Oh, God.
Sorry, Marianne. So anyway, I get up a little while later, and she stopped drinking the milk at that point. I get up a little while later, and she's like, can you smell the milk? And I'm like, and I go over and grab her cup, and it's sour as can be.
She couldn't smell or taste it.
She couldn't smell or taste the
Lord.
sour. And the sad part about it is my wife has been a lifelong milk drinker. She loves milk. Used to drink milk all the time.
Was that it?
This was 3 years ago, or maybe almost 4 years ago.
Yeah.
She still just can't. She doesn't drink milk like she used to.
It's sort of that conversation we had last month about the stuff you drink during a colonoscopy cleansing.
Yes.
Like you never want to drink that again, right? Yeah.
That's true. Yeah, Crystal Light for me is off the list forever.
No more apple juice for me ever. Yeah,
that's right.
Ever. I do like my milk. I do.
That's good. Well, and milk, generally speaking, is good for you. I have a friend who is anti-milk. Yeah, he said, milk is mostly pus and blood from cows. And I'm like, yeah, whatever. I had a milkshake once in front of him, and he's like, how do you like your pus and blood shake? And I'm like, it's quite delicious,
tasty.
actually.
Thank you very much.
So, I didn't listen to him.
Debbie Downer.
Yeah, seriously. I don't know. I think he was a vegan, too. Which,
okay.
Anybody that doesn't eat bacon ever, I'm kind of like, I don't know.
I haven't had cow in 25 years, maybe.
Really?
Yeah.
You haven't had a steak?
No, I've not had a steak or a burger. But I love chicken and poultry. I mean, all kinds of poultry, and I do love pork and bacon a couple times a year. Gotta have. I mean, that. How can you smell that and not just want to, scarf it down?
I make a mean brisket, and I know it's cow, and you probably won't ever eat it. But one of these days, you should at least smell my brisket.
Yeah.
So. All right, what else? I know you have pages full of information on bones.
I always try and bring as much information.
You're
too much
so
information.
prepared. No, that's good.
I'm a journalist, Andy. I do research. That's what I do.
That's a good thing. Yeah, that's a good thing.
Basically, good sources of calcium include dairy products, almonds, broccoli, kale.
Okay, now let's stop for a second.
Yes.
So a lot of people are lactose intolerant. I don't know anybody. There are not that many people that are literally allergic to milk, but a lot of people it upsets their stomach.
Yes.
So it sounds like to me you're about to offer us some alternatives that have calcium, or you don't have to have cheese, ice cream, milk.
Right.
What are they?
You can have, I love this one, canned salmon with bones. I don't know if the bones...
Wait, what?
Canned salmon with bones.
With bones. You're not going to eat the bones.
I don't think so, but that's just what it,
And you said almonds and broccoli?
Almonds, broccoli, kale, sardines, and soy products such as tofu. So if you're lactose intolerant, you can have the soy milk or tofu.
Right. Almond milk.
Yeah. And if you find it difficult to get enough calcium, just talk to your doctor about supplements. See what's good for you. I go to Costco and get those. They're calcium vitamin D gummies.
Oh yeah. I've seen those.
They're great. They're great. I have 3 of those every morning, and it seems to have. I mean, last time I had my calcium checked, it was right on the right level. So
good.
That was a good thing.
Good.
Yeah.
I have tried myself, and I'm not. I like dairy. I'm not dairy intolerant, but I have tried soy chocolate milk, and it's actually really, really good.
Is that right?
Yeah, Silk. It's really good.
Oh, Silk, sure. I've seen them in the grocery store all the time.
Yeah,
I've not had it.
And like I said, I'm not a big fan of the kind of the alternate foods. Things you can have. Like if you offer me a gluten-free piece of bread, I'm like, I'm going to have my gluten things anyway. But this soy chocolate milk was actually really, really good.
Okay.
So
I had one of the hamburger substitute burgers one time, and it was actually quite tasty. It was made out of beans or
Beyond Burger,
Beyond
one of
Burger,
those.
Yeah, it was.
Okay.
I think basically, if you put enough stuff on it, anything tastes pretty good.
And I used to before I got into smoking, I was in grilling, and I bought a packet of those black bean burgers, the veggie burgers, and they were really good.
It's really, really tasty. Yeah.
As long as you cook them right.
Exactly. And then I was just going to add, before we finish this up, good sources of vitamin D, oily fish, such as salmon, trout, white fish, and tuna.
Okay.
And then mushrooms, believe it or not, are a really good source of vitamin D.
Really?
Mushrooms, mushroom eggs, and fortified foods such as milk and cereals. So there you go.
Stockton and I have a running joke about mushrooms. It's like, who was the first guy that was brave enough to try
and got the right one?
Yeah, and then the one kills you, one makes you high, and the other one is good. I don't know who figured all that out.
And by the way, who ever ate an artichoke for the first time or a pineapple?
Yeah,
that's just craziness.
It was I think 140th anniversary of the first guy to use a parachute was the other day. Successfully used a parachute, because I think others tried and it didn't open or whatever. So.
I always think about gymnasts and they're doing all these flips and things. How do you practice? What happened? You see what's beautiful at the Olympics. You don't see
on the trial and error, and pain,
I guess they
and
have
agony and
water or something, air mattresses.
The agony of defeat,
yes,
I guess.
Yes.
So we're talking with Marianne Hamilton. Janene Burton is going to join us here in just a minute. Let's check weather. But Marianne, good luck on your DEXA scan.
Thanks, Andy. I expect it'll be good.
I expect it will be too. You're doing all the right things, so just keep it up. And again, for those of you who might be wondering about osteoporosis and bone density and stuff like that, go talk to your doctor and say, hey, should I get a DEXA scan? Should I be on a calcium supplement, something like that?
It's real important because basically what happens is your bones get brittle, and then if anything that would be a normal small fall could result in something pretty tragic, like a broken hip or something. So.
And unfortunately, we had an emergency trauma services lady on. She said a lot of seniors, people over the age of 70, especially, oftentimes a fall is a death sentence because it leads to other infections and eventually you succumb. So we do not want that to happen.
Yeah.
So, all right, Marianne, thanks. Let's take a quick break and then we'll bring Jenny on.
Wake up with the news and information you can trust. Starting your day the right way with the Andy Griffin Show. This is News Radio 890, 92.5 KDXU.
Welcome back. I'm Andy on what is turning into a rainy day here in southern Utah. Do rainy days and Mondays get you down, Marianne?
Just like the Carpenters.
Yeah.
Yes. Was it Karen Carpenter that sang that?
Karen Carpenter, one of my favorites of all time.
Sad.
I think, in my opinion, she has the sweetest female voice ever. But
one of them for sure.
I'm a big Carpenter fan. No, don't one of them to me. She's number one. Okay.
Oh, on your list. Okay.
On my list.
On your list. I understand.
Now, who would you put up there with her?
Oh gosh, you have to put me on the spot, right?
I did. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. At least I didn't make you explain what DEXA is short for.
I don't know. Do you?
I don't either. No, okay. That's why I didn't ask.
It is an acronym, I believe.
I figured neither one of us knew. So, anyway,
I could say Janis Joplin. How'd you like that?
Okay, Janis Joplin.
Not really sweet.
Yeah. She was kind of a rocker.
Yeah.
But
Bonnie Raitt is my favorite female.
Raitt, yeah, and her dad was a singer, and I actually like Nora Jones more modern.
Beautiful.
Nora has a very pretty voice too.
We saw her in Europe this summer.
Did you?
At a humongous stadium in Spain, I believe. It was amazing. Yeah, she was great.
Bullfighting and Nora Jones. Huh?
Yes, pretty much.
Spain. Okay.
Opposite ends of the spectrum.
Marianne is here. Janene Burton is here as well.
Hello.
Hi. You both look incredible. It's amazing.
We
I'm
are.
like here in my jeans and T-shirt, and I'm like, these. I guess I missed the memo.
It's a special occasion, Andy.
Up. I should have a tuxedo on to fit in with you guys. Now, there's a reason you're dressed up, and I'm going to let Marianne explain that.
Okay. So I will just give a brief interview because the important thing is for Janene to speak. But today we have a very, very important thing happening. I am the executive director of the Senior Pageants Group, and we are going to be crowning our brand new Miss Senior USA today, who happens to be brand new Santa Clara City Council member, Janene Burton.
She happens to be sitting right
here.
in
front of you. Yes, before her crown goes on. That'll be happening at about 12:30 at Entrada Country Club.
Now, Janene, have you been doing neck exercises? Because if you look at these crowns, the one Marianne was wearing a little while ago, and she took it off to put the headphones on.
Hers is like, amazing.
I don't know how much it weighs, but it's got to be in the pounds.
Here, you can try it, Andy.
Yeah. Oh, it's not. It's actually not as heavy.
It's not
as
heavy as it looks. Yeah.
It looks like it's 9 pounds. It's probably more like a pound.
Couple.
Yeah, maybe 2. So Janene, congratulations.
Yes, thank you.
There's like a ceremony today or a luncheon or what are we doing here?
Yes, there's a luncheon at Entrada Country Club. We have about 6 of our senior queens coming from Las Vegas to support Janene's crowning, including our founding queen, Kat Ray, who will be singing the national anthem. We have American Legion Post 90 coming to present the colors and do the Pledge of Allegiance. It's going to be a big deal.
And
then
cool.
the crowning of Janene, which is
It'll be really nice.
exciting.
Yeah, Janene, are you embarrassed? Are you excited?
Yeah, it's somewhat embarrassing sometimes, but it's really invigorating and it's fun, and and then you can be all sparkly like we are right now.
That's right. Very sparkly. Have you ever done pageants before in your life?
I was a runner-up to Miss Utah State University.
Okay.
And then I ran in another.
Do you mind me asking how long ago that was? Because I went to Utah State as well.
Before your time.
Yeah, right.
Not much before I was there in the late 80s.
Okay. Well, it was 79.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Not that long before I was there. So
that's when I was in the pageant, but I was there at Utah State a little bit sooner than that.
Do you have a degree from Utah State?
Yes, I do.
Oh, so do I.
In fact, I have 2.
Cool. Really?
My master's degree is from there, too.
What did you get a master's in?
Health and physical education.
Oh, right up your alley there, Marianne.
Right?
Yes.
Yeah. Love that. And she was a dance teacher for many years.
Yeah. I taught U.S. history and dance, and I was in the public school system for about 26 years.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, taught privately
in the state of Utah?
Yes.
Yeah. So you're on the my wife's been working for the city for 30 years, so she has that state retirement, whatever it is, or whatever. So very cool. Very cool.
Yes.
Well, Janene did something that just doesn't happen very often.
Never.
Almost never.
She's a Wonder Woman.
And she won an election despite not being on the ballot. And everybody's like, now, wait, what? It's true. She was not on the ballot for Santa Clara City Council, and yet somehow got enough votes to make the city council. Tell us how you did it, Janene.
Okay. Well, I decided to do it the old-fashioned way. Now, the reason why I wasn't on the ballot wasn't because I didn't want to be on the ballot.
That's probably what people are going to ask. Why weren't you on the ballot?
I wanted to be on the ballot. I went into the city and tried to sign up, but they said, you're here too early. I didn't know that there was a here too early. I thought that, this is
sign
good.
Up anytime.
I'll go sign up. And I went to sign up, and they said, you're a little early. And I said, well, I'm leaving for a vacation I paid for previously, about 8 months ago. And they said, well, can you come back from here until here? And when I looked at the date, I'm going, okay, that gives me 1 day when I get home for my vacation to make it in time. Well,
and the vacation was where?
Then it was in Europe.
Yeah.
And what is interesting is, if you know what flights are like lately, there's a lot of canceled and delayed flights.
Yes, we experienced it firsthand trying to get to Seattle this summer. Yeah.
So we make it to the gate, and we're going to be coming home on our first leg, coming home, and it's delayed.
Oh, no.
And I'm thinking, oh, my gosh, I don't think I'll be home. Well, we did get home on the day I was supposed to sign up by, but it was after 5.
Oh, no.
So they already left. So what I did is I took my proof of my ticket so that I could show them it wasn't my fault. It was a delayed flight. And I waited in the morning when everybody was getting there. I got there before 8 o'clock, so I'd be there and not miss anybody. And I said, look, can you still sign me and put me onto the ballot?
And they said...
No, a deadline is a deadline.
Wow. At that point, Janene, most people would say, I'm not in. I'll try next time. I'm out. I'll just give up for now. But that didn't happen with you.
Right. Well, I was pretty bound and determined. But the thing is for a while there, I was thinking, should I back out of this? And then I thought, no. I just got to step into it and give it my all and have the courage to do this. And I knew it was going to take a lot extra, because the extra effort is the only way that I was going to get a win.
Did anybody explain to you, write-ins just don't win? That just doesn't happen.
I knew that because I had helped with several campaigns, and I knew previously that this was kind of a iffy situation.
Yeah, the odds were not in your favor.
I thought, I am going to do this the old-fashioned way.
Okay.
So I went to the county, and I bought a huge map of Santa Clara, big enough that I could see the numbers and all the streets in Santa Clara, and I decided in my brain, I am going to meet people face-to-face, or I'm going to do it the old-fashioned way, or I will not have a chance to win. And so it was actually quite fun. And I thought, you know, it's a win-win for me, because even if I don't win in the end, I'm going to meet everybody in my city. I'm going to see what the map is like and what everything is like in my city. I'm going to get a lot of exercise because I walked about 8 miles a day. It was great. And when I would come home, I would actually highlight where I had been so I wouldn't forget, because in my brain I would think, oh no, where did I go? And so that's how I did it.
Incredible. Incredible. Now, a couple of things you run into when you're going door to door like that. Number one, dogs or other pets. And number two, a lot of, people wouldn't answer, a lot of empty homes. How did you deal with those two obstacles?
Well, I knew that it was going to be a little difficult. Now, I had little door hangers, and I'd hand it to the people that actually answered the door. If they were not there, I would hang it up on their door. But every night before, I would write personal little notes on a Post-it note and put it on there so that they knew I was still being a little personable to them. And so I would say, I hope you'll read about me. I'm sorry I missed you, but I would appreciate your vote. And so I got to contact every single home. Now, I did have a couple slam their doors, but most of the people in Santa Clara are amazing, wonderful, friendly people. I was so happy that I was from Santa Clara because of the people. They are amazing.
And didn't they say that somebody said no one's ever bothered to come see us before?
Yes, I had a few people say, they would look at this and they'd go, well, I've never seen anybody come to the door before. And I'd say, yeah. And they said, well, because you did that, I'm going to vote for you.
Oh,
really
and
cool.
what was your opening line when you knocked at the door?
Oh, yeah. I had
Your
to buy...
door approach.
I know, my door approach is so funny, and it's true. I said, I'm that crazy lady on those signs out there. And then they would recognize me and go, oh, yeah, that's you. And it was funny because I strategically put, with a couple of friends of mine that really helped me with my campaign, we put signs out where, as strategic places at the ends of streets and things like that.
So she beat the odds, got elected despite not being on the ballot. Basically, the process for someone to vote for you, then they would have to get the ballot and they would actually have to write your name in legible writing, because that could be a problem, so that the people counting the vote at the county could say, okay, Janene Burton gets one of the 2 city council votes.
Yes, and that, you bring up a point that kind of concerned me, because when I saw the sample ballot came out, and I saw the 3 names on there, and there were 3 openings, 4 of us running. Now, there was a space for a write-in. All it had was a little bubble, but the bubble was way up above it, and then there was a line. And I'm thinking, nobody's going to understand that they're supposed to write my name in here. So I spent money on a flyer that went out just about the time the ballots came out, and I had arrows point. You need to fill this little bubble in and then fill in my name, and I had it written out. So that helped too, I think.
Way to go. Are you married? You have a husband?
I am married, but I'm a widow now. He died a year and a half ago. And
what do you think he would think of all this right now?
I think he's behind me all the way.
Is he? Okay.
Well,
awesome.
He encouraged me to be in the pageant when he was very, very ill with a disease similar to ALS.
What's his name, by the way?
Paul Burton.
Paul. Hey, Paul.
And Paul was great. I was his caregiver for about 3 years.
So he got very sick.
But he was very sick at the end. And the thing that he did for me that was good is he encouraged me, go out and exercise, go get ready for the pageant. He encouraged me to be in the pageant, and it gave me something else to focus on, and it got me out of the house. And we did get hospice in the end, which helped a lot, and we had a great team from our area, and St. George is amazing with people who need hospice or are in medical need. But anyway, I kind of feel that he would be behind me still and be really proud.
Cool. I'll bet he is. I'll bet he is. All right, I got to sneak a commercial break in. When we come back, I want to talk with Janene about why was she so motivated to do what she did. But not yet. We're going to take a commercial break. We'll talk about that when we come back. This is the Andy Griffin Show on a soggy Tuesday morning.
Wake up with the news and information you can trust, starting your day the right way with the Andy Griffin Show. This is News Radio 890, 92.5 KDXU.
All right, welcome back. We only have 8 or 9 minutes left. We're talking with Marianne Hamilton, Miss Senior Universe forever.
Forever.
Even though she's not acting Miss Senior Universe right now, right?
In my brain. Always.
And to be crowned in just a few hours, Miss Senior USA, Janene Burton.
Hello.
Hi, Janene. Also a member of the Santa Clara City Council. Congratulations on that.
Thank you.
We talked with her for a few minutes about how she did that, write-in candidate, and was able somehow, amazingly, to get elected, even though you were a write-in. But behind that, you talked about going door to door, walking 8 miles a day, and purchasing flyers to explain to people how to vote for you and everything. There must have been something driving you. There must have been a reason why you wanted to be on the city council. What's the biggest reason, or two?
Well, I've been involved a long time with politics in one way or another for about 25 years. Mm-hmm. I've served on several campaigns. I was a past president of the Women's Republican Club for 3 years. I was also on the State Central Committee. I was elected to that for 3 terms. And then we moved down to St. George, and it was mostly for Paul, for his, to get some medical help. But I loved the city of Santa Clara and found out through others that they were afraid that with all of the high-density housing going up, that they were going to change the little downtown historic district. Me being into history, because I taught history for many years, I'm really into that. And when I found that out, I wanted to preserve it for the people of Santa Clara, especially a lot of them really felt very serious about that subject. So that's one of the reasons that got me very motivated.
I think the downtown area of Santa Clara is an envied place. I think there are a lot of towns in America, in Utah, that would like to have a downtown area that is like Santa Clara City. So yes. I see what you're talking about. I mean, the feel there, it's hometown, it's America.
Right.
And I can see why you would want to preserve that. It's important.
It reminds me of Andy Griffith's show,
That's right.
USA, right?
Yeah, for sure.
And we need to preserve that a little bit.
Do you have an Aunt B out there? Yeah. Awesome. Was there anything else? And I guess before I should say, was there anything else? Have you been able to make some inroads? You've probably been to 3 or 4 city council meetings at this point?
Yeah. I was sworn in on January 2nd, and so I've had 1 month on the city council. It's been very interesting, and I feel like there are some issues that are very important to the people. We're all worried about water. That was one of them recently. And, we're all interested in basically the same things in different ways, right? So, yeah. So
your job is to figure out how to satisfy those desires and needs without losing what you already have.
And I've been to some trainings because with all the people who come in new, they want to train you. And I've been reading a lot and trying to keep up on everything,
Have you, did they throw you onto some committees and boards and things right away, or are you still getting your feet
Yes, I was hoping
wet?
to be on the Heritage Committee. That is the committee where they really watch the downtown district and what happens there. I was given my committees, and I really enjoy them. I've got the Historic Committee, which is the museum and things like that. Also the pageant. I'm going to be over the Santa Clara pageant and some other committees. So it's good.
Well, good luck to whoever in Santa Clara is running in the pageant to be prettier than the lady directing the pageant. That's going to be hard
That'll
to
be
beat.
fun.
She
That'll
is
be
stunning.
great.
She is stunning, absolutely. How much time do we have? We've got about 4 or 5 minutes left. Anything else on the city council that, besides the heritage part of it, anything else on the city council that you kind of feel like you maybe bring some expertise to, or things that you want to accomplish while you're there?
Well, After going around and meeting all the people, I want to be on committees that include a lot of people, like the Swiss Days.
Right.
Now, that is not my committee, but I'm going to be involved as much as I can with the people there. And I'm proud to say that with my heritage, even though I didn't grow up down here, my grandfather is the man who taught at the first Dixie Academy.
Really?
He was a basketball coach, and he and his basketball team are the guys who put the D on the mountain and the Dixie on the rock. And I've got pictures of them that I'm going to put in the museum of them doing that. And it's interesting because many of the family names from down in this area, like the Hafens, the Ents, the Whitwers, the Graffs,
all those,
yes, all those names, many of them were on his basketball team. And my grandfather named some of my uncles after those basketball players.
Very nice.
Isn't that fun?
That reminds you know how Dixie Flyers got their name, right?
No, I don't know.
The basketball team from Dixie High went back east to some tournament, and one of the guys, the writers that was covering, said it's like they're flying up and down the court, and the name stuck, the Dixie Flyers.
Oh, yeah. Cute.
Very
That's
cool.
neat.
So
I didn't know that.
Was it your grandpa? You said?
Yeah, my grandfather.
Maybe he's the one that took him back there. I don't know.
Yeah.
What was his name?
David Gorley.
David Gorley. Very cool. All right. Well, we are just about out of time. Again, Janene, thanks for coming in today. You look incredible.
Thank
you look
you so
amazing.
much.
Marianne, you as well.
Well, thank you.
I'm excited
It's
that
an exciting
Marianne
day.
gets to crown me today.
Yeah.
It'll be an honor, my dear.
That's about noon today? Over
12:30.
In Trotta, right?
In Trotta, yes.
Yeah, at the country club.
Very cool. All right. Now I'm going to put Janene on the spot. Fitness tips for folks. Marianne gives us her tips all the time, and they're really good tips. She is on top of it. But you're a dance teacher, right? And majored in health and stuff.
Yeah.
What do us Americans, what are we doing wrong, or what do we need to do that can help fix some of the situations we find ourselves in?
Well, I heard Marianne earlier say, we needed to listen to our mothers because they were basically right, and a lot of those wives' tales are true. But yeah, just being able to find things that you love to do.
Exactly.
You have to find things that give you exercise, get you out of the couch.
That's
just go
true.
out, and if you like pickleball, go play pickleball. And if it's 3 times a week, once a week, you got to get out there and find things you love that are naturally making you want to do something. I love to hike and walk, and I do the walk fast, and I like to take my dog too, but when you go with dogs, they like to stop and smell. So I have to go without my dog sometimes.
It's not always a continuous process.
Yeah, it's a continuous thing.
Dragging. Come on.
Come on. And if you love to dance like I do, you got to find, time to do your dance in front of the TV, even if you want to do that. So just stay active and do things you love. That's my
I think that's good advice, because I have a friend who is a runner, and I said, you must really love running. He goes, oh, I hate it. I said, what? He says, I hate running. I just do it because I need to. And I'm like, I don't think that's a long-term commitment to me. I think eventually his hate for running is going to overtake, and he's going to stop. Either that or he was lying to me, one or the other. I'm not sure which. But that's great advice. Find something you love to do. Like Marianne, what do you love to do, Marianne?
I do love to walk.
She does.
I do love to teach fitness classes, so that's helpful. I get a pretty good workout when I'm leading a class.
I love that she's the guru of the senior games. She's got 40 medals or something.
49 goals.
43 golds.
Oh,
43 golds. 43?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And a bunch of silver and bronze, too, right?
Yeah. So. A few of those.
Janene, again, thanks for coming on today. Marianne, it's always a pleasure having you on.
Thanks, Andy.
Marianne presented me with a little gift. It's been 2 years she's been coming on the show.
This is our second anniversary, Andy. Yes.
Which means if you came once a month for 2 years, you've been on the show at least 24 times. Huh?
Yeah, well, aside from your illness and my vacations.
Yeah. But you were on a couple times before
That's
that,
true.
too.
That's true. So in honor, I believe that the tradition is that your second anniversary is cotton, which is why I brought you the cotton gift.
Cotton, okay.
Yes.
Aww.
Cotton.
T-shirt.
Who knew? Thank you, Marianne. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Andy. See you next month.
Thanks for coming.
Thank you.
This is the Andy Griffin Show. Tomorrow we have Dr. Blodgett on. We'll talk to you then.